Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're going to have more flip throughs of these two little journals I just got done making. And this is another paper bag journal that'll be the flip through goodie. So let me set these out of the way. And I had these pansies from the Dollar Tree. So I had 2 packages of them. So I made like a purple pansy journal. So that's why I put these psychedelic letters there, and then I have a little jeweled butterfly, and then I've got all the different pansies. So I've got purple, maroon, and yellow all through here. And it's just a very simple journal. I mean, they can write in here if they want to. They've got this to write on, and then they got their little papers in here to write on. But it's just kind of a pretty little bright journal. And I want to thank everybody for coming to visit and seeing what I'm doing today. And yeah, see, it's just, I kind of alternated the colors, try to pick the colors that were in some of the pansies. So, and I just took the extra strips that I cut off and put them in here, and I had a few extra little labels. And that's all I did. Just real simple. I had one letter I put in there. Yeah, so that was all. So that one's ready to go. And I had this from, I think it was a present. I had that extra strip, cut off strip behind there. And then I glued this on. And then I also glued it on the back side. So it looks like it's actually wrapped. I thought that was kind of a cute little detail. All right. Now these two journals are from the Stamperia paper pad. I think it was The Art of Traveling. You've seen me use some of the pieces. So these were all different cutouts and things I made. There was an area that had a lot of strips in it. I don't know if you saw that. That would be these two areas. And I just cut all the strips out. And I was making them to be pockets. So let me go. This is the last one I made, so I'll go through it first. Now, these 3 little pieces were cut out to actually be pockets, but I decided to put them as panels on the front. And I really like this kind of metallic, it's almost like the gold with the different colors that's kind of in the kit. And then I did do some washi on the back, and I didn't really like how it was because the edges were kind of pulling up. So I decided to glue this pretty piece of lace with a ribbon on the back side to give it more of a feminine detail. I love these tulips. They're my favorite. But this has to do with, it's kind of travel and grunge and stuff like that. There was pieces in here that somebody sent me. And this here, I can't remember if that's an onion bag or what. It was something that was in produce that was wrapped in it. And it made a really cool little jaggedy design. The yellow is all throughout here, so that really worked well. Now, this is a big tuck in the beginning here. This is reach for the clouds, touch the sky. And some of these other things, I think, were items that were from a digital. There are those medicine. I'm going to set this back behind me real quick. All right. And there's a few pieces in here that are like from the 12 by 12 pages. And they're few and far between. I didn't have that many left from the last project I used this for. But it has to do with like, you know, stamps, cancellation stamps, and tickets, and it has a lot to do with traveling. I love that little card, too. These came from a digital, and this is from Wayne, and I got in here, and I dyed the back sides with coffee, but it has more of a red look to it, so I don't know what was exactly in. I guess it resulted against that dye. This is one of the journal cards that, isn't that pretty? I love these little flowers. So this is one of the 12 by 12 papers that I had cut down, and it made some really nice backgrounds for pockets. Now, I did some paper bags and put them in here. It's just kind of a Mod Podge. And see, there's that really cute camera. Little cat at the doorway. And all these are my dyed papers, and some are from paper pads, real thin ones, you know. And I just kind of sprayed the back side basically with some, oh, what is that? This is it, tea dye. I did a tea dye oxide spray. I didn't want it to be too dark, so I just kind of did a couple of sprays with that, and it turned out really good. And this is some of that packaging paper that you get when you order stuff from Amazon, and they'll stick that in there to keep stuff from bonking around. So that's what that is, and that's still writable. It's just something different. I love the trees. That's from that strip piece, 12 by 12. A different walk changing environment. And this is just, that's from some of those other, like the Grungy kit. It was a Grungy kit. This is actually a tablecloth. It didn't quite turn out good, but you can see a little bit of the patterns in there. I thought it looked good against that. This kit also had some gears in it. And let me see, I've got, whoops, I've got some of the pieces here. Now, I've got enough for a third one, a third book. So I've got that, and then I had this, which is some of the medicines and things, and then there's labels, more medicines, and then here's more labels. So I've got all of those for another book if I need it. And I just kind of cut them all out, fussy cut them, sit here and listen to some of my stories, and then I just kind of collaged them all together. I love this one. I got to do more of that this year. That's the deck. Who was it that wanted some of this? Was it you, Lorelei, or you, Jody? Let me know if you watch this and you see me asking, because I'm going to make some more if we get any nice hot days, and I'm going to send you some. All right, and it kind of actually did so well it came out on the back side. Now this was a little piece, I cut it at a 6x6, so I tucked it around. I didn't want to hide the flower pot, and I didn't really want to cut the bike off, so I did it this way. And I really love that. And then it's got this little scene over here. So I don't know how, I don't ever count these pages. I just kind of pull and put them together, and then I kind of measure my spine as to what I think the size will be. And these two books, this one and the one behind, is the same size. I really like this. I actually cut this off, so I had a little bit more of these suitcases. I think they're in the other one. This one says traveling in company is more fun. There's that cute little kitty cat. I didn't put anything on the front of this one. It had enough interest. And this is like a little bridge over some water and walking the streets. And I didn't really want to put poison in here, but, you know, it's kind of interesting. There's some strychnine. And then I tried to spell things. Here's gears, because it's got a little bit of a steampunk element to it, too, with these items that I added from that one kit and Wayne's stuff. So it's a nice montage. It's got a little bit of everything. And this one has a bunch of the mailing kind of things on it. And here's another one of the big journal cards. And then it had a bunch of words on the front page, you know, on the Stamperia pad. So they're kind of mixed in through here. And this one was just all brick. So I went ahead and put some stuff on it to give it interest. I really love that brick page. I would love to order another one of those. I may have to check into that. Now this was supposed to say vinyl, but there was different sizes of the letters. There's round ones, there's square ones, there's some narrower rectangles, and then there's the long one. So it was a whole bunch of different ones you could choose from. This was from one of the 12 by 12 pages. It was just like a mixture of things, and I cut that house out. Put a plan on it. I was going to make a tuck, and then I decided not to. Now, this page is a paper bag. And then I just decided, since I have sort of a grungy element to some of the pages, I kind of wrinkled the whole bag up. And it was actually longer than the 8.5 inches. It might have been more like 10. And I kind of folded that up, maybe 12. And then I kind of wrinkled it back and stapled it. And then I kind of glued it down so it wouldn't move so much. But that's what I made. I took my, I think I took my ground espresso, and I just kind of went across the wrinkles and sprayed it just a little bit with water. And that's what I got. I also inked the edge. And here's the cute little Volkswagen. That's what we used to have when I was little, about 4 or 5. We went to Texas in it. Went down to see my mom's brother, Uncle Sonny. And boy, I was in the back. I was on that boar hair, that's really short black hair stuff that was in the very back boot. Oh, they had to put a big thick blanket in there because it itched so bad. I love this little scene. That little kitty made it back in a picture again. Yeah, we had that little Volkswagen, and that's what Mom drove around town. I made a little pocket out of this thing. Go get our groceries. I think we went to A&P and got our groceries, and a lot of times I think if you got over $25, you got like a piece of, like a dish set. Like you would get all these things. They would have, one of the end caps had a setup of all the different dishware that you could get. And then you collected it. So you could get the plates, the cups, the butter dish, the serving things. I mean, all that. And I wrote gauge here. I should have put one of the gauges. I still may. I don't know. I just don't know. I think I used up all of those letters, though. So here's that pink design again. And then I didn't do anything back here. I just kind of left it. I've got a few of those little yellow pieces kind of sticking out. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. And then, like I said, I had to glue this down so it kind of hides that edge. But that'll give me something different, like for the shop. I'm trying to figure out what I want to price these at. A lot of them are my own hand-dyed papers. And then I got some of the stuff in here for free. They were from Happy Mail. And so, you know, it won't be too much. The Stamperia is usually, I don't ever get more, it's not more than $15 for a paper pad. Some of them are less than 10. So I get deals on some of them, and that's when I'll buy them. Now this outside cover, it's this kind of a metallic gold or bronze. I'm not sure what the color is. And I had this washi tape that was a kind of a copper color. Maybe that's what that is, copper. So I took and put it on here with some glue behind it, so it stuck really good. And it went really well with this. Now, this makeup that I'm doing on this cover, it's just a single layer of a pizza or a lasagna box. I always save them. And since they're not like a 12-inch, or actually you need it to be more than 12 because you got a spine in there as well. So what I usually do is I'll cut it, and then it comes over to here. And then I'll cut this one panel at 6 by 9, and then I glue it on there, creating this pocket. So it really works out good. I've got to cover the pieces usually first before I glue the pocket on, so I can get, you know, the coverage up and behind here as well. So this one, I decided to do the brick because there's brick on a lot of, this has a lot of the houses in it. Now, I really love the patisserie. This is part of that brick wall again. And then I got the flowers and then the houses. And it's got travel story. And so this is the little bench with the... I love this lamppost. I always have this thing about a lamppost. Now, with Tim Holtz, he's got one. It's a stamp, I think. Or it's a die cut. I may have to look into that. But I don't like the cartoony looking things. I think it comes with these two people that are ice skating or something. And here's those tulips again. And I put Bon Voyage up here. It was die cut. A fussy cut. And I put this in here upside down. Because I didn't want to have my trees. Plus it looks like the plane is flying in, the sky. And here is one of the papers that Wayne sent me. And this pretty little door. And then here is just some things tucked into the... I guess that's the canal. I'm not sure what it is. Here is this one. And I may have to get in here and glue this a little bit. Let me do that right now. Because it's glued at the edge, but it's still a little bit too big for the piece of journal card that I've got in there. And that's a ship with a map on the back. And then I've got travel up here at the top and a gear down here. Or a gauge. And it's sort of similar. Now, this one on a couple of the paper bags, I took a paper out of one of my old books. And these used to be in my dad's basement. I've got like a bunch of them. My brother let me have them. And you can see there's some bug got in there. And they're old as the hills. I don't even know what the year is because it's in Italian or what do you call that? Latin. Well, whatever. MDCXXX. Anybody know how old that is? I know it's in the 1800s. But they're different colors. They're kind of stained, and some bugs have got in here and some critter chewed on it. So they weren't doing so well in the basement. They were probably in somebody's barn for ages. Who knows? So I just kind of add them for interest. This was supposed to say sorry. That was the only thing I could come up with. But the other R wouldn't fit. That was actually in the paper bag journal I showed you at the beginning. That one R. That's where it ended up. And this one was actually a full page. And then I have stash here. Now this was, I have a little tote or a basket up there. It's got a lot of those. Remember me doing the totally junk journal? And everything I had was like all free junk stuff. This was from an atlas. And I pulled it out of that up there. And see, I've got hotel on here. And I did put one of the little things down here. It says creosote. I'm thinking they'll use this as a travel journal. I don't know, though. It could be anything. Now I've got Greece here. Had a little extra house. That says life experiences. I've got quite a bit of room in between some of the scenes. This one had more empty spaces than the other one did. Oh, maybe, no, that was from the back page of the Stamperia pad had fussy cuts. And that's where I got a lot of the different little things in here, too. That one, oh, I made a tuck out of it. So it's a great big tuck. And then there's the cable car. And here is this one. That stack of suitcases I showed you in the other one. This was the top side of them. But I also want to get in here and glue that down. To give it a little bit more tightness. sometimes when you do pockets and tucks, and then what you end up putting in them, sometimes you got to see if it's going to fit good and not slide around. That says the thrill of feeling like you've seen the world. I love little trees. Now this one, I tucked this around so the lamppost showed. And then you got the benches over here on this side. I didn't tuck anything in it. I just didn't worry about it. I love the doors. I wanted to cut the doors apart and use them for something. But this was the one that had that gorgeous brick wall. And I just did not want to cut the brick wall apart. I wanted to use it. So I ended up doing that. There's a little page that Wayne sent me. And this was like a like a 12 by 12, and I kind of just stuck it in here. Travel with family. And then vintage was too long to go, so I went across with it. I actually had to cut the T apart. Yeah, me and Mom went to the cemetery the other day to decorate the graves. And we got these saddles. 2 of them were saddles for Dad and Grandma Rhoda's graves. And got them at Walmart. They must be the cheapest things you ever seen because they're flat. I mean, there's not much height to them at all. So I'm going to have to make my own for the next time we decorate them. I might have to do something because it just looks like they're trying to fly away. They're standing so high up off the stone. Oh. Here's another one of those papers I was showing you. And this is from a 12 by 12, and I just made it kind of a deep pocket. I got formaldehyde in there. And then here's a big spread that doesn't have nothing. Just a bunch of papers. This is one I did in the oven, and it went and hit that hot pan so quick that it did bubbles around the outside edge. I thought that was kind of a cool effect. Here's another one of those deep pockets, and I didn't put anything in that one, but I did a few little goodies around the outside of it. And then here's the back side. Now this, I didn't want to like glue this down to make it a tuck. I wanted you to still be able to see the doors and the brick wall. So I just glued this halfway down, just on the bottom side. Oh, there's that little kitty. And he's got the brick wall there too. And then that. And you could write back behind here and then cover it and nobody would see it. Like secret journaling. That's one of my things I love. Okay, and I didn't do any pockets on the back of this one either. I just didn't worry about it. I thought it had enough pockets and tucks all through it. And I really like how that turned out. And then this extra piece that was from the outside papers. These, I use that for the inside. And this is the hidden journaling that I always do. See, I don't have to go through this to tie it. You actually go through the piece you create here, and then you just glue that down against the inside. And you just have to work it down and make sure all the sides are down. Now, see, that's up just a little more than I would wish, but I think it's down enough. And even on the back. Oh, the back side's good. All right. I hope you enjoyed that and got to see a bunch of things that you might not have been aware of, or you wanted to see how I used these Stamperia pieces and threw all these different kits together. And I really appreciate you coming by, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.